Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you're new here to the channel, consider subscribing and becoming a channel member. So we're starting off with some exciting news that Jason Blundell, a key figure behind the success of Call of Duty's Zombies mode, has announced the formation of a brand new game development studio under PlayStation Studios' umbrella. This new venture, called Outlaw Games, marks Blundell's return to the forefront of game development after his departure from Deviation Games 2 years ago. For those unfamiliar with Blundell's history, he was a co-studio head at Treyarch and played a pivotal role in shaping Call of Duty Zombies mode. After spending 13 years with Activision, he left Treyarch in 2020 and co-founded Deviation Games in 2021. However, his time at Deviation was short-lived. He exited the studio just after only 1 year. The studio itself ultimately closed its doors in 2024 without releasing a single game, despite an ambitious partnership with Sony. Now, Blundell is back with Outlaw Games, a PlayStation subsidiary that is part of the larger PlayStation Studios family. Now, while specific details about the first project remain unknown, the studio could be working on a brand new intellectual property or possibly an existing Sony franchise. Blundell made the announcement during an appearance on Jeff Gesterman's bonus podcast, expressing his excitement about this new endeavor. He goes on to say, "I've had the amazing opportunity to create a new studio with PlayStation Studios for Sony. Outlaw Games has been working away in the shadows for a while. When we've got something to talk about, we'll step out into the light." I like how he's acknowledged that they've been working away in the shadows for a while, suggesting, even implying, that they've been cooking away on something for a while since he left Deviation Games. It's funny how he's kind of implied that they've been working away in the background for a while, and when we've got something to show, we'll show it. It's interesting how he's phrased that. I mean, despite keeping things under wraps for such a long time, Blundell was clear about the reason behind making the studio's existence public at this specific time, and it's because they are actively hiring for new developers. The team is actually recruiting for developers, and the studio is still in its early stages of assembling talent and refining ideas. That's the official reason for coming out now and telling everybody he's part of this studio. Blundell continues to say that we're currently staffing up, keeping it kind of low key. It's about getting the team to gel, getting the ideas clicking, testing our assumptions, and making sure everything is working. And Blundell remains optimistic and passionate about game development, stating that the drive to create something new and exciting is what gets him out of bed every morning. His track record in the industry suggests that Outlaw Games could be working on something ambitious, whether it's an innovative new IP or a fresh take on an established franchise. While we don't really have any details about this specific project, PlayStation fans will surely be eager to see what this new studio has in store. And given his track record with Activision and at Call of Duty, guess we're getting another shooter game from PlayStation then. What do you think? And on top of the shooter game being developed by People Can Fly, we now have something else potentially from this new studio, which lends itself well to the idea that it could be a shooter game. Both of these pieces of news seem to have come out within a few days of each other, as if PlayStation is communicating to the audience to say, hey guys, we've got shooter games coming in the next few years. Very interesting space right now. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's move on. For Resident Evil fans, the wait for the next mainline story entry has been quite long, but according to an insider, Dusk Golem, who, to be fair to him, is probably the go-to person for Resident Evil news, the reason behind the delay is simple. Capcom is preparing to reinvent the franchise in a major way. Now, Resident Evil 9 is reportedly a significant evolution of the series, comparable to the transformative impact of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 7. And while no official details have been shared by Capcom, Dusk Golem remains confident that Resident Evil 9 will be revealed later this year. And he has hinted that the game will introduce ambitious new gameplay mechanics and won't follow the exact formula of the previous Resident Evil games, including Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, and the other remakes. Dusk Golem went on to X and wrote, "The thing I think people will realize when RE9 is revealed is the reason the game is taking so long is because it's a big reinvention of the series. It's trying new things. It's very ambitious." And Resident Evil 9 has reportedly been in development for several years and is being led by the same director who was in charge for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Rumors have suggested that the game might take place on an island in Southeast Asia, offering a fresh setting and atmosphere for players. However, one rumor that has been debunked one is the inclusion of Jill Valentine and Leon S. Kennedy as protagonists within the game. Aside from Resident Evil 9, Capcom is also rumored to be working on remakes of Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil Code Veronica. If these reports are accurate, the next few years could be packed with exciting releases for fans of the survival horror franchise. I suppose Capcom are doing to the Resident Evil franchise what Konami are doing to Silent Hill. Lots of versions, remakes coming out of the franchise, and I'm looking forward to learning more about RE9. Not to sound negative, but the only thing I am worried about is I don't want them to move too far away from the formula of what makes Resident Evil such a great game series. If they go in such a different direction that we don't recognize it as a Resident Evil 9 game anymore. Resident Evil 9, don't forget, was supposed to be an open world game. So there were rumors or leaks that the game was going to be open world about a year ago. However, we haven't really heard anything from anyone to collaborate that. So it's unfair for me to really be critical because, let's be honest, we haven't really seen anything and all the information is being provided by so-called insiders, and we know they often get things wrong. So let's reserve judgment for now, and I look forward to learning more about Resident Evil 9 over the coming months ahead. Let's move on. We have an update on a PS5 exclusive game. The Star Wars gaming universe is expanding once again as Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment prepare to unveil a brand new turn-based tactics game at the upcoming Star Wars Celebration event in Japan. The project is a collaboration between Respawn and Bit Reactor, a studio founded by former developers from the XCOM series. The announcement of the game dates back to 2022 when EA confirmed that Respawn was working on 3 Star Wars titles. One of those games was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The other one was a first-person shooter that was unfortunately cancelled. The third project, which is finally being revealed, is a turn-based tactics game developed primarily by Bit Reactor, with Respawn providing support. Now, scheduled for 19th of April 2025, the Bit Reactor developer panel at Star Wars Celebration will give fans their first glimpse at this highly anticipated tactics game. Given the team's background in tactical strategy games, there is speculation that this new title could offer gameplay reminiscent of XCOM but set in the Star Wars universe. During the initial announcement of the project, Douglas Riley, who is the VP of Lucasfilms Games, expressed real enthusiasm for this collaboration. He goes on to say, "We're excited to continue working with the superbly talented developers at Respawn. They have demonstrated excellence in telling epic Star Wars stories, along with the best-in-class gameplay across different genres." Vince Zampella, head of Respawn, echoed similar excitement, and he goes on to say, "We are huge fans of Star Wars here at Respawn, and we're thrilled to work with Lucasfilm Games on new titles that we have wanted to make for years. With a talented team behind the project and the Star Wars brand lending itself perfectly to tactical battles, the upcoming game has the potential to be a real standout title, and while details remain scarce for now, fans will not have much longer to wait to see what Bit Reactor and Respawn Entertainment have been working on." Would you be interested in a Star Wars game in the same style of XCOM? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the topics discussed in today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next video.